What's up, y'all? So I just kind of realized something that is true about myself, and I just didn't know this, is that I get really excited about my stuff when somebody else is excited about my stuff. I'm not really sure if that means that I have this like kind of a co-optive, codependent thing, but until recently, I was always building things for myself. Which I think is kind of selfish. And so now I'm kind of thinking about like, what are the things that really keep people up at night? And let's work on those problems. And 8 out of 10 bars and restaurants typically go out of business. The number is a little bit lower than that in the first year, but it's still a very high number, like 60 something percent, which is total insanity. So like if you're investing in a bar or restaurant, then why on earth would you do that? It seems like kind of a bad investment. And even when there is an upside, the upside is not really that big because something like 38% of bars last year in 2023 actually recorded a profit, and of that profit, it probably wasn't that high. And we're not talking about the Red Robins, the Fridays, the Applebee's. We're talking about like the mom and pop independent bar owners and the small groups. And so it is just so exciting to me to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. This is my coach, by the way. I'm working with my coach, and we're building something that is very, very exciting as a collaboration. And I'm doing the tech piece, and then he's doing mostly the strategy piece. And so I'm building his strategy into an automation system that helps bars and restaurants systematize not only the recruiting, training, onboarding, but also like key marketing elements like receiving phone calls and then texting somebody immediately back, or receiving a phone call and then helping them, then having the guest select which experience they want. And so if we have for instance, if a guest calls in to talk to somebody, I will literally set up the system to ring every one of the managers, depending on what time it is. So there's business hours and then there's service hours. This is called IVR, or interactive voice response. And so what happens is a guest calls in, they say they have one of 5 questions, and we will immediately text them back, and we will pick up the call. And so whoever picks up the call is going to be incentivized for picking up the call, as in we'll have a point scoring system that says that this person scored this many customer points or whatever we end up calling them this month, and they get XYZ incentive. And what it does is it makes, we're also creating boundaries so that you don't have to, it's all on an app. It's not on their regular phone, so it doesn't ring them in the middle of the night when they're not working, for instance. But we're just kind of building this stuff out. And one, I'm not really sure if anything like this actually exists. And two, if it does exist, we're probably making it better. And it's just so exciting because not only is there enterprise value in the stuff that we're building, but also I believe that we can help reduce these numbers, these shocking numbers of these businesses that go out of business. Now, so like in New York alone, I think nightlife, bars, restaurants is around a $2 billion economic impact. And that's tens of thousands of jobs. So that's a lot of people. And so 80% of those people every 5 years has to cycle into a new job. And so that's tens of thousands of people that will be shifting and churning from one thing to another. So we're curious why people don't, why there was a great escape from hospitality workers. That's why. It's because every couple of years they had to look for a new job. I remember the longest job that I worked at was 2.5 years, and that was a world-class bar. World-class bar. It was always busy. We always knew how much money we were going to make. We always knew how many drinks we were going to make. It was as consistent as it gets. I was just ambitious and I wanted to start an event production company, but it's not uncommon to shift jobs every year or two. One, because it's out of business, or you're laid off or let go, or any number of reasons. But most of the time, the business will go out of business, and so it's just not a very good investment. But if you were able to implement a system that is proven, that is articulated, that is an ongoing year-on-year strategy that all but guarantees that you're going to be successful as long as you work the program, and it's reinforced by automations, systems, nudging, and making sure that it gets executed and implemented at scale every single time. That is the recipe for success. So the creative part is actually more about what your culinary offering is, what your beverage offering is, and how you interact with your staff. But the basics are there. Whereas right now, there are no rules. It's the Wild West. People are hiring people out of turn. They're not hiring the right people, which ultimately leads to people quitting or getting fired. Full stop. I mean, by not hiring the right people for your sales positions, your front of house positions, not giving them a career plan and a path, and articulating exactly how they're going to get there, and giving them a light at the end, like a matriculation plan, a career plan, then people are going to quit. They're going to move on. And if that is your frontline sales staff, which it is, your servers and your bartenders are the ones selling all your stuff, like they're your sales staff. And they are your hospitality staff. And so they are there to make your guests happy. And if you're not making them happy by being mindful of their training, of their ongoing, career development and personal development, then and providing them options and tools and a system to keep the managers accountable for that career planning. We call this a Q12 survey. It's a famous survey. And if you're not implementing these systems to let them know that you are serious about them, then they're going to churn out. And so what happens is you have this unqualified sales staff. And the unqualified sales staff, they don't know your product. They don't know your steps of service. They're probably bringing in bad habits, or maybe good habits, but probably bad habits from their last places that they've worked. And it's going to be off brand. And so you're going to have this kind of disparate experience between your staff members. So what I've done is I've built this implementation system that says, hey, we're looking for hiring. And then it's always hiring, always looking for talent. And then nurturing the talent, whether you have positions or not. And so like there's a 3-step interview process, and then there's a decision process, and all of it's automated to the degree that we actually will send pre-employment surveys to the manager that is interviewing that particular person while they're interviewing them. And so on their phone, it tells them what to ask, how to ask, what basic questions. And we're basically looking for things like, did they show up on time? Are they well dressed? Did they hassle the bartender? And we're incentivizing the not only the prospective employee, but also the staff to give feedback on that particular person, because it's a famous Zappos story where it's like the person that was interviewing for a job hassled the bus driver on the way there, and then that was the reason why that person didn't get hired. And Zappos has the happiest employees on earth. So that's just kind of one example. But what we're doing is we're systematizing that and making that available to almost anybody. Like before, you had to have like a very high you had to either have like a lot of expertise yourself and experience in this space, or you had to hire somebody who had all this experience that could help you implement. But now it's not like you're hiring a consultant where it's like here's point A where you're at right now, and then a consultant comes in and tells you where point B is, and then just tells you what to do to get there, and what the straight line is. This is a consultant telling you what point B is, and then laying down the track for the locomotive, and then building the locomotive, and then teaching you how to drive the locomotive. So you just have to you drive yourself from point A to point B in a straight line. And that is the vision for this stuff. And it's just very, very exciting. So I think I've constantly undervalued the value of my work and my investment in learning how to build systems like this. But now I've connected with a person who is extremely good at building profitable bars. And that starts with happy staff, a clear strategy, clear return on investment, and clear insights on exactly what to do step by step by step. And so this is what we're building. And I don't think it's ever been done before. See you next time.